enhance the poverty rate as well as in order to reduce the poverty rate and increase the literacy rate in India. And the main intention was in order to give them and also to reduce the malnutrition. To provide many children in our country, they were not even getting one full meal, one meal a day. So in order, and because of that, the reduction in the enrollment, okay, and there was no retention in the schools. So for the convenience of the parents and for encouraging the students to join the schools and also looking after the health of the children. Generally, from 7 to 12 years, most of the children, they were found to be many deficiencies were found in the children because of the malnutrition and the deficiencies. Okay, so in order to overcome such situation among the children, the government has taken the midday meal scheme. So here, midday meal scheme was started in the year 1995, which was only meant for the primary. Then again in 2008 and 2009, they went for the upper primary, that is 1 to 8. So it was the duty of the government not only to look at the quality of the education, but also the quality of the health of the children by giving them the nutritious food. Okay, and all the deficiencies which were found in the students have to be rectified by the government by providing them extra supplements in the form of iron deficiency, whether it may be the calcium deficiency or whatever deficiency it may be. This is what yesterday I told you. What is?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I don't know. So here. So here, World Food Program has been working to support the government of India in finding solutions to strengthen the country's food-based safety. What do you mean by fortification? Fortification is nothing but the enrichment of staples such as rice and wheat with iron and vitamin A have been successfully used in India with encouraging results. See, what happens is that even though we have sufficient food, we may be having 3 meals a day, but when we generally go for the checkup, we see that one or the other deficiencies will be found in us, isn't it? Even though we are having 3 meals a day, we are having all this milk, curd and all. Once you go for the checkup, even I think whether it is you or whether it is me, generally we are going to find one or the other deficiencies. So what happens is that deficiencies can be rectified. See, since we have that much of stamina to overcome those deficiencies, what happens that ours will not be that criteria, but people who are unable to have at least 1 meal a day, they will be having deficiencies, and because of that, the cognitive development among the children will be reduced, and also it may lead to illness. So for that purpose, the government has decided to give them the more nutritious food. How enrichment of macronutrients by adding the premix. Like we have the protein X powder, we have this powder, that powder. See, sometimes it so happens that it is not possible to provide each and everything. So after the cooking is done, so in order to provide highly nutritious food, so that nutrient content will be added after the cooking part is done. Did you get my point? So milk itself is it has high content of calcium, but in case if we have deficiency in the proteins and if we are not that strong enough, so we add all this protein X powder, this powder, that powder. What for we are adding in order to enhance our to overcome the deficiencies that we find in our body. Isn't it? In the same manner, students who are malnutritious, so after the cooking is done, so few whatever the deficiencies they are going to have either in the beginning or after the cooking is done, they are going to mix it. Is it clear?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So, and because of that, as a result of that, resulted in reduction of iron deficiency, anemia among the children. See, and depending upon, generally students, children coming from the backward classes, children coming from the who have financial crisis, they have iron deficiency, they have the calcium deficiency. So taking this into account, the government has decided to add the powder which have high content of iron and calcium. After the cooking is done or during the cooking, after the cooking is done, so before serving the children, it will be mixed. Okay, it will be mixed. And when it is served to the children, they have seen a drastic improvement in the iron and calcium content among the children who are coming from the backward and financial crisis families. Did you get my point? I should say welcome Om Prakash. After a long time you have turned up. How come?
Sorry, madam.
Good afternoon, Om Prakash. ఎన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత?
Just one class and
అంటే ఎన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత అంటే నువ్వు వచ్చింది ఎన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత కాదు. We are meeting after a long time. My intention was that నిన్ననే క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యింది తెలుసు. My intention చాలా రోజుల తర్వాత
yes, madam.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now, integrating hygienic practices. Let me tell you, even whether these people, children who are coming from the backward classes or children who are coming from the financial crisis families. So, whoever it may be, if we do not maintain hygiene in our families, in and around our house or a place, definitely we are going to face the health issues. So here we are supposed to see. So generally here MDM. What do you mean by MDM? What do you mean by MDM? Midday meal scheme. See, what to ensure the progress is not done with the onset of diseases. What happens is that if you actually the thing is you have all the provisions, you have all the groceries, but if you don't maintain the hygiene, the ultimate whatever you desire, whatever the outcome you are expecting, that will not be seen among the children if you don't maintain a good hygiene. So here what happens, MDM is planning to even take into consideration the hygiene practices. What do you mean by hygiene practices? See, throughout during preparation and consumption, the food has to be, they have to maintain the hygiene, means properly washed, clean utensils, okay, the clean kitchen, okay, then all the other things whatever are necessary during cooking of food should be cleaned properly. The person whoever is cooking, okay, has to wash his hands frequently, and even the storage facilities should be in hygiene. They should not be dumped in a place where it is not meant for storage. Thus even the storage where they are storing the food grains, it has to be maintained clean and tidy. Okay, continuous supply of water should be there. Hand washing should be there before and after. Appropriate kit with aprons, gloves and caps for the cooks, and safe food waste disposal are to be provided. This is how generally. Now in case if you happen to visit a 5-star hotel, for each and everything how the person who is serving will have hand gloves, the person will be very neat and tidy. In the same manner, that hygiene if we maintain in the school, in and around the school area, where we have a kitchen, if the utensils are frequently washed, where we are keeping our food grains, if that particular storeroom is neat and tidy, even if there is a continuous flow of water, frequent hand washing, okay, making use of the aprons, soap and everything, then whatever you are expecting, whatever you are expecting among the children, what we are expecting among the children, to overcome the malnutrition and overcome the deficiency, then that can be possible if we maintain the health and hygiene of not only the kitchen but also the people who are cooking the food, the utensils, the area where they are cooking it. If there is a proper flow of water, if there is a proper place to store the food grains, and also if people who are cooking, they should maintain the neat and tidy. They should wear neat clothes. They should make use of the gloves, aprons, and everything. Did I make it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
అండర్స్టూడ్. మనం ఇప్పుడు ఇంట్లో కూడా మనం ఎప్పుడైనా మనం కిచెన్ మనం ఇచ్చేస్తున్నామంటే మీరు ఒకసారి చూడండి, మనం ఇంట్లో అట్లీస్ట్ టు సమ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్ వీ డూ మెయింటైన్ వాట్ ఈస్ దట్, అంటే అప్పుడప్పుడు ఏంటంటే వన్స్ ఇన్ ఏ వీక్ ఆర్ ఇఫ్ నాట్ వన్స్ ఇన్ ఏ వీక్, generally people every day we clean our utensils, we keep on washing our hands, and at least now we are doing it frequently because of this phobia of corona. Okay, so whatever it may be. But even previously, in case you would have come across, if you have observed that most of our parents, okay, and every parent, okay, if you have seen your mother frequently, she'll be washing her hands, she'll be every day, she'll take bath, she'll clean the utensils, and for that purpose we are maintaining good health. To some extent we are maintaining good health. Okay, see, whether we are using the pesticide fruits or pesticide grains or pesticide vegetables, that we cannot help. At least to some extent, in order to look after our health, We are taking care of all these things. Okay, so in the same manner, what happens is that if this is how we are doing it, the same thing is done by the people who are running the school kitchen. If they maintain all these things, and definitely you see that the health of the children who are taking the midday meal in the schools will be improved to a large extent. Apart from the food grains, apart from providing the nutritious food, even the hygiene is more important. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And if you are and the people who are crazy to have outside food like Zomato, this, that, once you do, please do visit kitchen. And that would be the last time you are going to have the outside food. నేను చెప్పింది అర్థమైందా?
Yes, ma'am.
ఒక్కసారి
Yes,
మీరు
ma'am.
చూడండి, ఒక్కసారి వెళ్ళి చూడండి, ఇంకోసారి వెళ్ళాలనిపించదు, తినాలనిపించదు. And I mean it, and I am not kidding, and it's a fact. అందుకని వాళ్ళు లోపల రానివ్వరు. It would be yummy, it would be tasty, it would be delicious, it would be spicy, and everything would be good. But once you get into the kitchen room of whether it is any hotel, and especially what is there, near LB Nagar into what we have, non-veg will be there, but what is that? I don't know.
Chutneys.
Yeah, chutneys, chutneys will be good. After non-veg, I don't think chutneys.
Chagos, ma'am.
August, ma'am. Adi, what is it? It starts with K.
Krutinga, ma'am, Krutinga.
Krutinga,
KFC, ma'am.
KFC. You might have seen many cases have come against that KFC. I won't I this, that, అవి చూసారంటే కిచెన్ రూమ్ లో చూసారంటే నెవర్ యూ డేర్ టు ఎంటర్ ద కిచెన్. Never you dare to have something from KFC. But whatever it may be, I don't say that I'm not blaming any of the hotels or the restaurants or whatever it may be. But whatever I am saying, it is 50% fact. They don't maintain that all hygiene at the end of the day. Okay, they do prepare, but when the cleaning and all, cleaning hands and all, no. But still it will be yummy. Okay, I am not saying from my point of view. Okay, whatever it may be, it's not part of this MDMS. Okay, involvement of management. One second. Hey, Shikar. Hey, Shikar. Hey, Shikar. Okay. Involvement of management. It is now in case if we are, if I am a person who is involved in the government sector, okay, now I have to take the responsibility to see all these things. What was the thing I am supposed to see? I have to see the cooking staff have regular health checkups and adopt hygiene standards, such as washing their hands as well as those of the children before and after eating meals. Generally, what happens is that most of the children, they do not follow this habit of washing their hands before having the food. Okay, so it is the duty of the management in the school to look after whether the children are washing their hands before and after their food, and also to have the regular checkup of the people who are cooking the food in the government, in the school premises. Okay, that need to be related to all the stakeholders are clean hands. Who are stakeholders? Who are looking after into this? Okay, the important messages: clean hands, clean utensils, clean cooking and serving area. School meals food service operations may differ in a varieties of ways. So it is the duty of the person whoever is in charge of looking after these things, means kitchen, the cooking staff and the children. Not only he should observe regarding the food grains and everything, all those things, not only about the kitchen, safety as well as the neatness of the kitchen, but also he should see that the people who are cooking the food, they should be very neat and tidy. They should maintain the hygienic rules and all, and also they should observe that the students are all maintain a certain discipline by washing their hands before and after. They should maintain certain. So all these things should be observed by the person who has taken the responsibility to look after into all these things. Did you get my point? Say some more. Yes, ma'am. Okay. What happened today? Nitish seems to be very silent. Where is he? Not to be seen on the screen.
Yeah,
When to
ma'am.
happen, sir? Okay, fine. No, you should be there, man. Okay. Then I get the what is that? zeal to tell yourself that today your friend Om Prakash has turned up. Okay. Now,
Okay.
did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
What
Yes.
even the fortification? Fortification and anything?
Maintaining the quality, ma'am. Like
Enrichment with the nutrients.
How? By premixes. By adding.
Macronutrient.
Okay. Follow. Are you able to follow?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone. Okay.
Yes,
fine.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
మీకు ఆకలి వేస్తుంటే చెప్పండి, ఐ లీవ్ యూ, కానీ ప్లీజ్ నేను చెప్పింది వినండి. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ ఓన్లీ ఐ కెన్ సే. I know that this is very odd time, but I am helpless, you are helpless, you have no other option. Okay, you have to. Matter of 4-5 days after that, I will bind up because I am into 5.4 and I'll start 5.5 today. So only we have 2 more subunits. Will you study on your own if I leave you today?
You say, ma'am.
I'm not getting response from the other students. Will you study on your own? If I
No, ma'am. You explain, ma'am.
అంటే మీకు తెలుసు ఎలాగైనా మీరు ఎస్ అన్నా నేను చెప్తాను అని తెలిసి అలా అంటున్నారా, లేకుంటే నిజంగానే
లేదు మ్యామ్, మీరు చెప్తే కొంచెం ఈజీగా అవుతుంది చదవడం.
ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే కొంచెం మాకు ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే ఫైన్. ఓకే ఫైన్. వేర్ ఇస్ రమణి?
మ్యామ్, దేర్ మ్యామ్.
ఓకే, నో స్కూల్ రమణి?
No, ma'am. We are busy with our progress report making.
Okay, fine. Okay. Now, midday meal scheme, development of space for children to live together. See, let me tell you, the main advantage of having when do you get time to share your feelings, to share your ideas, to know about each other? When only during the lunch time and during the time where you are all the non-academic related activities, where you tend to know more about your peer group, more about your friends. You will have more, you will have more attachment. Okay, you share your views, you share your ideas in the non-academic activities. What all comes under the non-academic activities? During your lunch time, during your sports, classes. Okay, with the extracurricular activities and then during your lunch time, whether it's the break time, whatever it may be, there the restrictions will not be there. You can share, you can talk, you can do whatever you want. Okay, that liberty will be there among the students. So, the same manner, midday meal scheme, it is the development of space for children to live together, and this is only the space where you will not be monitored what you are talking about, what is the thing you are doing. So you are at liberty to share your ideas and feelings, and this is a space. You are getting space away from your teachers. Did you get my point? మనం అంటాం కదా ఎప్పుడైనా గివ్ మీ స్పేస్ అంటే, గివ్ మీ స్పేస్ అంటే ఏంటి? వాట్ మీన్ దట్ గివ్ మీ స్పేస్ అంటే మీకు కూర్చోడానికి స్పేస్ కావాలా? వాట్ మీన్ దట్ పీపుల్ దే సే గివ్ మీ స్పేస్, వాట్ మీన్ దట్?
ఫ్రీడమ్ మ్యామ్.
That's what give me space and leave me means you please give me the freedom. Okay, give me the freedom. Give me space means you want to be alone, you want to think on your own, you want to be on your own. So give me space. So that space will be found when you are away from your classroom atmosphere, and generally during what time? Either during your lunch time or during the sports activities. The teacher will not be there to look into what you people are talking about. Class hours, the teacher will monitor what you are talking about. Are you talking regarding the subject or is related to the subject? Okay, but here the teacher will not be there to monitor all these things. So you are getting a lot of space and time to talk, to mingle with your friends, mingle with your peer group. Okay. Now here what happens? It's a treasure. I think most of you must have enjoyed having lunch together, sharing. Okay, so those moments will be quite memorable, and generally most of the children will be waiting eagerly to have for the lunch time. For 50% to have lunch, and 50% it is the time where they can sit and chat. Without being monitored by the teacher. Okay, with liberty. They are at liberty to talk. So here the teachers will not be there to look what they are talking. So this is the time and this is the space where all children coming together every afternoon for their meal is a sight of treasure. Okay, the intermingling improves understanding and unity among them. Here, this is the only time. As you share more and more time with your friends, you come to know more about them, and there actually you maintain good rapport, and that will boost the friendship. Okay, and you tend to the intimacy among the friends will become more. Okay. The midday meal program has helped ensure that caste, religion, or other similar factors don't come in between children education. See, all these things, you are you belong to this caste, you belong to that caste, all these things will not come to the mind of the children. Only they see the friends. Friendship, see, friendship is such a thing that all these becomes irrelevant. So people who are, generally we look into few things in a friend. So, irrespective there, the religion, caste will not be the criteria. Only if you like the qualities or you like the nature of a particular person, you want him or her to be your friend. So, here what happens? This is a place where children will actually discard all this caste, religion, and only they, take friendship into account. So, this midday meal scheme is also helps the students to share their feelings, to be together, irrespective of the caste and the creed. Okay. And what happens because of this midday meal scheme? The major advantage is that it has brought a sharp increase in the enrollment, okay, and attendance, and narrowing the gender gaps in the school attendance rates. So what happens? Previously, only the boys used to attend the classes, but now what happens? The girls, they were prohibited to attend the school. So, but now because of this midday meal scheme. Now, even because according to most of the parents, the education was only meant for the boys in those days, they thought. But because of this midday meal scheme, parents who had this feeling that why the girls should be sent to school, at least if they work at home, at least some part of the work will be completed by them. But after this midday meal scheme has been started by the government, now even the parents, it has encouraged the parents to send their girl child to the school, and because of this, previously there was a sufficient gap between the boys and the girls enrollment. But now, after the midday meal scheme has started, there is only a narrow gap. And now, what is in the narrow gap? Means there is not that you don't see much gap between the enrollment of the boys and the girls. Okay, even the enrollment of the girls has come to. It is maintaining equally with the boys. Previously, only the boys used to go to school. In those days, not now, in those days. But after the implementation of the MDMS by government, even you could see that the girls have started joining the schools. It inculcates social value and equality, platform for all children of all social and economic backgrounds to take meals together, thereby facilitating achieving the objectives of the social justice. See, this is the place. For that purpose, if you happen to be in a school, there are different types of people from different backgrounds, okay, and different religions. When school is a place where actually the unity among, because of the students will not come to know, they will be least interested to know the caste and the religion of the children. Only they give importance to the friendship. Okay, the scheme has created various good habits in children, such as washing one's hands before and after eating, using clean water, and maintaining good hygiene. And because of MDMS, the students who are coming from the backward families and the financial crisis families and the completely tribal families who are not at all aware of all these hygienic things. So after coming to school and after the midday meal scheme has been started by the government, even they have been given exposure regarding how to maintain a good life, how to be healthy, and how to maintain this healthy and hygienic life. Okay, it has created a congenial atmosphere for education, health, growth, and overall well-being of poor and needy children. So, MDMS, the scheme started by government, has done a drastic change, has brought a drastic change among the people who are coming from the economically backward and tribal places. And here it has been a great advantage, and to the people who are in need of education and for the financial help. Okay, it serves a very effective mechanism for strengthening the socialism process. It helps to break the caste and the class barriers. And which is what is that? Now they may ask, what is midday meal skill? What is the advantage? How it has overcome the what is the deficiency among the students? And it is the skill which development of space for children to live together. And this is the place. And because of this scheme started by the government, the children have started to share their ideas. Okay, during the lunch time. Okay, this is the place where the friendship among the children will be given more and more exposure. Here the caste and religion will not be taken into consideration. So all these things should be mentioned whenever they ask you a question regarding MDMS. It was started in the year 1995, again renamed 2008 and 9. Then you are supposed to look into all these things. Okay, how it should be, who should look after it, how the management should be, everything should be written whenever they ask a question regarding MDMS. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the conclusion? Once I'll read out, you just, midday meals in India's government schools were introduced to stop hunger from keeping children away from schools to improve enrollment. It is found that the midday meals to be extremely successful in raising enrollment rates, particularly among children from the lowest socio-economic backgrounds. So the main motto of MDMS was to increase literacy rate, to reduce poverty among the children, okay, who were not attending the school because of this financial crisis, and also the major thing was to enhance the enrollment of the children. And it because of the MDMS, the government could see a drastic change as they have seen the maximum enrollment coming from the children who are economically background. Not only the quality of education is given to them, quality education is given to them, but also the quality of food is also maintained during MDMS in schools. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, fine. According to APJ Abdul Kalam, if a country is to be corruption free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel that there are three key societal members who can make a difference. Actually, according to Abdul Kalam ji, according to him, in order to have a difference in the society, there are only three people. Who are those? Father, mother, and the teacher. See, such a big role Abdul Kalam has given to you. So, in order to bring a change in the society, there is no one who can bring a change in the society. Only the people who can really bring a change in the society is the parents and the teacher. For that purpose, teacher, they say, after the parents, then the next person who is going to impact in the life of a child is the teacher. So according to Abdul Kalam ji, there are only three people who are responsible to bring a drastic change in the society, and they are the mother, father, and the teacher. Do you accept? No.
It's true, ma'am.
Adi entante, okay, fine. But let me tell you, this is okay. But apart from that, the society, the peer, కానీ మేజర్ ఏంటంటే పేరెంట్స్ అండ్ టీచర్. అకార్డింగ్ టు అబ్దుల్ కలాం జీ, see many factors are there, కానీ major these three people are going to happen. They are key factors. Did you get my point? Public private stratification of education. What do you mean by stratification?
Diversification layer by layer, ma'am. Stepwise, ma'am.
Huh?
Stepwise.
What do you mean on what basis do you go for stepwise?
According to the age, ma'am.
Age?
Like according to the levels of education, like for 0 to some age, they
Ramani, please.
caste, ma'am.
స్ట్రాటిఫికేషన్ అంటే ఏంటి? మీరు థియేటర్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మీరు అక్కడ స్ట్రాటిఫికేషన్ చేస్తారా లేదా?
Classification into different groups, ma'am.
Stratification is nothing but classes. అక్కడ డిపెండెంట్ ఆన్ ఎలా ఏ బేసిస్ పైన క్లాసెస్ చేస్తారు? అరే బాబా, whether you go for the balcony, whether you go for the first class, whether you go for the second class, depending upon the amount you spend towards the buying of the ticket, the classes will be what is that? They make the classes. Avuna kada?
Yes, ma'am.
If you pay 200 rupees, you will be given a balcony seat. If you pay 150, you will be given a first class. Then if you pay less than that, you second class. So here, depending upon that stratification class, stratification is nothing but the classes, division. Got it? So here, public-private stratification of education. Education has been divided into two categories. One is the public, the other one is the private. So what do you mean by stratification? Stratification means creating classes of students according to their socio-economic backgrounds, depending upon the class, depending upon their social background, the stratification has been done. See, manaku entante society lo we have two types of schools. One is the government school, the other one is the private schools. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
See, education development of the country is a joint effort of the government, private and the non-governmental entities. So the private entities are fueling inequality in education while contributing to the same. Private is responsible not only for the progress but also the, what is that? They are private organizations. They are actually, what is that? They are responsible for not only for growth of the, what is that, education towards the progress of the country, but also they are responsible for the inequality in education. See, private organizations, they are responsible for two things. One is, because of the private organization, you could see a drastic progress in our country. And the other one is, they are the persons, private organizations, these are the organizations, because of them you could see the inequality in education. Say yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
అవునా కదా? మనకు there are two types of ఇప్పుడు ఒక గవర్నమెంట్ ఒక ఎడ్యుకేషన్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ you want to see the educational development in a country, so who are responsible, which are the organizations? One is the government, the other one is the private, and the other one is the non-government entities. But whatever it may be, the private people are fueling the inequality in education, but also they are responsible for, held responsible for the progress of the country. And definitely that's true. So they are taking the fame, but also they are responsible for getting inequality in education. See, let me tell you. So that stratification is nothing but creating classes of students according to their socio-economic background, depending upon their socio-economic backgrounds. The stratification will be done. And the classes. Which class do you? And what class? First standard, second standard, third. Depending upon the what is the status you maintain, financial status you maintain. If you are financially well off, definitely you will be into private organization. If you are not that, you will go to the government. In those days, the government, most of the children who come from a good financial families, they used to go for the private organizations. So stratification was done. Stratification is nothing but the creating classes of students according to their socio-economic backgrounds. Okay, so can lead to unequal educational opportunities and outcomes, and can undermine social cohesion, creating conflict. Definitely, what happens in case if you do the division? See, because of the division, now people coming from lower socio-economic children. If the children are segregated based on their socio-economic backgrounds, then what does it lead to? It leads to unequal educational opportunities and outcomes, and can undermine social cohesion, creating conflicts. So no child should be segregated, or no child should be kept away because of the socio-economic background. Generally, it is done in every country, and even it is done in our country, that the students are admitted in the schools looking into their socio-economic background. Say yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that all the children will be allowed to join in the private institutions?
No, ma'am. Only those who can have effort.
Those who can afford. This is nothing but the stratification. Stratification is nothing but based on their socio-economic conditions. The children are being classified. Okay, so actually it leads to the unequal educational opportunities. You might have seen. What is the difference between there are certain types of schools with many resources, and in general, let me tell you what is the difference between the private schools and the government schools. Sai Bhavani, you tell me.
Yes, ma'am. In private schools, there will be more facilities for the people, for the students, ma'am. Will be provided for them. Proper guidance.
See what happens is that in private schools a better learning environment will be there, and also you could see the lot of resources will be available in the school, and that leads to the better performance among the students. Whereas on the other hand, in the government schools, where fewer resources will be there, what will happen? The environment will not be that good, and definitely the students performance will not be that to that extent. And what happens is that the students generally, the students who do not have that exposure, okay, and who actually will not have many resources, even in future having a better life is also, they have limited scope compared to the students, those who have got better learning environment, who have got more and more exposure with different types of resources, they have got a better future in their life. Yes or no? Then check it correct or wrong. Once again, I'll repeat. The students with a better learning environment and having lots of exposure towards a different type of resources will have more and more opportunities to lead a better life in their future compared to the students who have got whose the environment is not that conducive for learning, and with the limited resources they will have very less opportunities to lead a comfortable life in their future. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you might have come across why people are crazy to make their children join in very good institutions which have got good reputation, because there the exposure will be good. Education will be same whether it is a government school or a private school. But what makes the difference? Why parents are behind the schools who have got good reputation? What is the difference, Mr. Nitish? Why people are behind the institutions which have got fame in the society?
Facilities, ma'am. And the kind of care.
Mitesh.
Yes, ma'am.
Why people are crazy after the schools?
Facilities, ma'am.
Only facilities?
Infrastructure and
exposure to the society
teaching
is
staff.
more, ma'am.
See, what happens is that students who are in very good organizations, they'll get good exposure. They'll have good resources. Okay, they'll have the learning environment will be more. Okay, and because of that knowledge, when they happen to face the society, when they happen to come out of the schools, they will be able to face the society in a better way, and that helps them to lead a very successful life. Their future would be very bright compared to the students who have got very less opportunities, where the learning environment will not be there. And also what happens is that because of the less exposure, they will not be able to lead a comfortable life, because nowadays in the present scenario, the more and more exposure a child gets during his school and the college days, the better is the opportunity to lead they have more and more opportunities. For that purpose, you might have come across why people are crazy after about the organizations which have a good name in the society, whether it is we have got Manipal, we have got Surat, this IITs and all. They are maintaining a standard, because once a child gets admitted in such organizations, the future will be very bright compared to the organizations which have not marked a mark in the society. Okay. Now, see, there is a clear trend of decrease in the public school enrollment and increase in the private school enrollment. Because of this, the government is trying its best to have maximum enrollment in the government schools. But what happens, even though the parents who cannot afford, they are giving the free education, they are giving the free meals, but still you could see that the maximum enrollment is seen only in the private schools compared to the government schools. Despite free government school in the midday meal program, many poor parents are opting for low and private school involving out-of-pocket expenditure for tuition fee and transport. Quality education is a passport to better future, and it is the way out of poverty for the most disadvantaged societies or sections of the society. Let me tell you, even though the government is trying to attract the parents who are financially, who are not that financially well, okay, by providing free education and providing free meals, but still you could see that maximum enrollment is found in the private schools rather than the government schools. You will be surprised that even though the parents who cannot afford parents who cannot afford, okay, they are trying their best at least to go for the schools, private schools which have lower fee, because the quality of education in the private schools would be better compared to the government schools. Let me tell you, the parents who are not that financially well off, even they are not opting for the government schools. They are going for the schools, private schools, where the fee structure is less. Because according to them, their intention is that even if they happen to join their kids in the private schools where the fee structure is affordable, at least their child would be able to learn something. That is, the quality of education in private school is far better compared to the government school. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
మీరు ఏమైనా ఎవరైనా చూడండి, ఈవెన్ ఎవరైనా వాళ్ళకు ఏదైనా కొంచెం డబ్బులు ఎక్కువ వచ్చిందంటే వాళ్ళు వాట్ ఆర్ దే, మా అబ్బాయిని నేను ఈసారి ప్రైవేట్ స్కూల్స్ లో పంపిస్తాను, అట్లీస్ట్ ఏంటంటే కొంచెమైనా చదువుతారు, గవర్నమెంట్ స్కూల్స్ లో ఏం చదవడు అని దే హ్యావ్ దట్ ఫీలింగ్ దట్ మేకింగ్ దేర్ చైల్డ్ టు స్టడీ ఇన్ ద ప్రైవేట్ స్కూల్స్ విల్ గివ్ దేర్ చైల్డ్ ఎ బెటర్ ఫ్యూచర్. This is what actually most of the parents have in their mind, because according to them the quality of education is only found in private schools, because in the private schools everyone is accountable, whereas in government schools no one is accountable. This is the reason, because everyone has the feeling that private schools the teachers are accountable, the management is accountable to some extent, whereas in the government school no one is accountable. If your child reads, it's up to him. If he doesn't read, that is also up to him. No one will be taking the responsibility and no one will be held responsible. Whereas in the private school, everyone is accountable. The parents, the management, the teachers, everyone. Okay, and because of that, we could see that the students those who are studying in private schools will fare better in their future compared to the students those who are studying in the government schools. In the present scenario, previously no private schools were there and only students those who are studying in the government schools. Now at present they are in very good position. But now the scenario is become quite different, because nowadays the government teachers, they are not teaching properly to some compared to the private schools. Okay. Now private schools are those that are run by individual, okay, private owned enterprises, non-government organizations, school. And what happens is that here there are many schools which are still under the supervision of the government in terms of whether they are the private schools or the non-government schools, whatever it may be. But still they are under the care of the government. Okay, they have to follow the rules of the government by following the policy, curriculum and evaluation. Okay, but the private ownership distinguishes them from the other types of schools. Private schools will provide quality of education to students for their academic and the only advantage of the private schools is that they maintain the curriculum, but the methods, the strategies and the infrastructure and the resources will be quite different compared to the government schools. They are at liberty to make their own different type of strategies. They can go for the smart classes, they can go for the computer classes. See here, what happens is that in the private schools, they are at liberty to take the fees and they can do whatever. Now they can go for the highly trained teachers. Okay, they can go for the computer classes. Okay, foreign languages, same school. Okay, and even they go for some extracurricular activities like karate, music, and all those things. So all these are adding additional advantage to the students, those who are joining the private schools. Whereas in the government schools nowadays, you don't find all those things. Only for namesake they keep all these things, but all the computers will be there, but no teacher will be there to teach the computer. Whereas in the private schools, they have a computer class, they have a music class, they have a karate class, they have sports class. So all these things will add to the advantage of the parents and the students who actually join in the private schools. Okay, so there are some schools they have their own syllabus. For example, some schools they do follow the curriculum, they do follow the policies, but sometimes they do have different syllabus according to the needs of the children and according to the needs of the society. Because according to them, the schools, which the private school organizations or the management, what they feel is that when their students they go out of their school, they should be able to face the competition in a better way. For that purpose, they will be given more and more exposure. They'll have more and more competences in the among the private going children will be more compared to the children those who go for the government schools. Okay, and even do you know that in the private schools it is up to the management to give the incentives to the teachers. Okay, and what happens is that the more the depending upon the performance of the teachers, the incentive will be given to the teachers. Okay, the privately managed teachers have got different type of curricula. Now you might have come across that whatever they want they can do to adapt the abilities and interest of the children. Okay, privately managed schools have greater incentives to reduce costs and may subject to some flexible regulations. They attract students. Okay, by giving nowadays, and you might have come across that as a parent you would like to see whether computer classes are there or not, whether yoga classes are there, whether you have a playground or not. So all these things. So all these extra things will add to the benefit of the private schools compared to the government schools. So what happens is that, let me tell you, even some schools, in order to maintain a standard in the society, they have got a particular pattern that they are going to admit the students by conducting a test, admission test. And I think this is there even in most of the good schools, in most of the reputed schools, they will not accept all the children. They are going to accept only the children who pass the test conducted by them. Do you accept it or not?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Before the child gets admission into a particular class, they want to see to what extent the child has got the previous knowledge. They want to assess the child's previous knowledge, and only if the child is suitable, if he fits into that particular class, he will be given admission. Otherwise, he will not be given admission. And in order to get overall good percentage, okay, in order to have better results, they would only admit the children, okay, who are capable of it, or by conducting the test. You might have gone through we have many schools are there where they don't admit the child blindly. They admit the child only on the test basis. They would like to see the performance of the child before the child is being admitted in school. Did you get my point? Arthamainda leda?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Public funding play an important role in socio-economic without sacrificing countries' overall performance. Private. Other aspects to consider include schools' ability to select specific students and the disparities in parental choice, including but not limited to the. See, you might have come across many schools are there. Not only they see the performance of the child, but also even they consider whether the parents are educated or not. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What is Sangamitra is responding? How about others?
Yes, ma'am.
See, అంటే మీరు do you accept that few schools blindly they accept, few private organizations they accept the children, okay, to whichever class they want to admit the child, they will be admitted in the child. But few schools are there, they select the teachers, okay, according to their what is that standard, okay. Depending upon the experience, the teacher's salary will be what is that decided. And in case if the teacher's performance is very good, the incentives will be. It all depends upon the private management. However they want, they can select the teachers, and however they want, they can change the strategies. They can give exposure to the students for providing them all the resources and all these things. So and ultimately they see that the desired outcomes among the children is achieved. The learning outcomes will be there among all the students. And in order to have the better results, they see that every child will be admitted into a particular class based after conducting the test. If the child has the capacity, then only he will be admitted. Otherwise, he will not be considered. And sometimes you might have seen that in few schools, not only the child should have the capacity, not only the child should be good in his academics, but also the parents should be well educated. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes I think now actually recently I heard that they don't want the parents, they both are working. They should be educated, but both should not be working. Come on, tell me why, one of the reasons. Ramani?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question? There is a disturbance in the network.
Few schools are there where they will not take the admission of the child if both the parents are working. May I know the reason for it?
Ma'am, they feel that if both the parents are educated, then the effect on the child will be more compared to single parent who is studying.
I am saying that if both are working, then also few schools are there, they won't accept the child.
Because the care of the child will be less, ma'am, when both the parents are working.
Even that criteria is taken into consideration nowadays. In order to for the betterment of the child, at least one of the parents have to look after the child. If both are working, even that actually will be considered as a negative aspect. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shall I start with KG to PG, free education in Telangana, or shall I start tomorrow?
Tomorrow, ma'am.
Tomorrow, ma'am.
Okay. నేను ఒక పని చేస్తాను. లావణ్య, tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Only what is that? A paragraph is there. Shall we please sit down?
Ma'am, please repeat.
Lavanya, do you have textbook?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Now tomorrow will you say KG to PG free education in Telangana, only one paragraph is there?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Ramani, will you say education structure in Telangana tomorrow?
Okay, ma'am.
See, it's very easy. For that purpose I am giving you this. Okay. Then who will take fee structure? Who is going to take fee structure? Sangamitra, will you take fee structure?
Ma'am, in which page, ma'am?
It is there in 279.
Not 279.
No, అలా కాదు. కంప్లీట్ నా ఇది అయిపోయింది. ఉండు.
283, ma'am.
283 కాదు, 279. ఇప్పుడు కేజీ టు పీజీ చాలా ఇది ఉందమ్మా. కేరళ ఇస్ మోర్ హైలీ లిటరసీ రేట్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది, చాలా చిన్నగా ఉంది. ఏంటంటే when you happen to tell you what is that? As a learner, we learn more. For that purpose, this is very simple topic. For that purpose, I am giving you. నేను చెప్పాలన్నా I can take it, but only thing is that in order to for a change, okay, KG to PG will be taken by Telangana. Please, in Telangana, please don't read. You are not supposed to read. మీరు ఒక 3-4 times దాంట్లో only important points you are supposed to get. Come with the gist. Followed.
Yes, ma'am.
And Sangamitra, education structure in Telangana.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, చాలా చిన్నగా ఉందమ్మా. Only 3 paragraphs. That is, I think this is for Ramani. I think I have given it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, given to Ramani. Yes.
Okay, Ramani, 5.2. 2.
Okay, ma'am. 5.5.2.
కాదు 2.1 ఇది.
Can you repeat, ma'am?
అది 5.5, 2.1 అది. That is yours.
Okay. Education Telangana.
అంతే. KG to PG scheme key features. Who is Sangamitra? Will you take this?
KG to PG scheme key features. Okay, ma'am. Okay.
ఏం లేదమ్మా అక్కడ ఏంటి స్కూల్స్ జనరల్ కాబట్టి నేను మీకు ఇస్తున్నాను. ఓకే, KG to PG scheme objective. This will be taken by Bhavani.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, only for, and see tomorrow you shouldn't be absent. What happened, Bhavani? Will you take it?
Yes, ma'am.
So tomorrow 5.2. Okay, 5.2.1, 5.2.2, 5.2.3, and 2.4. Shravani, take it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, చూద్దాం టైం ఉంటే రేపు నువ్వు చెప్పు లేదా విల్ సీ. విల్ యూ టేక్ ఇట్ ఆర్ షల్ ఐ టెల్? ఇవి చాలా ఈజీ ఉన్నాయి, చాలా అంటే చాలా ఈజీ. బ్లైండ్లీ యూ కెన్ టేక్, అండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ ఇట్ విల్ కమ్ టు ద బాయ్స్. KG to PG scheme funding will be taken by Nitish, and KG to PG debates 582. 83. Then okay, English medium of instruction, Om Prakash. Everyone will be getting a chance. Will you? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
మీరు చెప్తారా నేనే చెప్పాలా? ఫాస్ట్ గా చెప్పండి.
లేదు మ్యామ్. Will take it, ma'am.
ఏంటంటే ఇవి చాలా సింపుల్ ఉన్నాయి ఆల్రెడీ. వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇన్ తెలంగాణ, వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ ఇన్ తెలంగాణ, వాట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ ద KG to PG, మన మీడియం ఆఫ్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్, హౌ మిడ్ డే మీల్ స్కీమ్, ఇట్ వాస్ నాట్ న్యూ టు యూ. కానీ ఏంటంటే ఆఫ్టర్ గోయింగ్ త్రూ దట్ వాట్ ఐ ఫెల్ట్ వాస్ దట్ ఇఫ్ యూ పీపుల్ జస్ట్ వన్స్ గివ్ అ గ్లాన్స్, it would be very, language is very easy, the concept is very clear. This public and private stratification ante what is the stratification, Sangamitra?
Ma'am, it is the division of the classes, ma'am.
On what basis?
On socio-economic where it is.
Classification, classes of division of students according to their socio-economic status.
Yes, ma'am.
Mere what is stratification ante enti? Division of students based on their socio-economic standards. That you have to keep in your mind. Okay, I'll wind it up tomorrow. First one will be taken by Lavanya, second one will be taken by Ramani, third one is Sangamitra, fourth one is Bhavani, and fifth one is Shravani. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll wind it up now. Okay then, bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Bye bye.